This video is going to show how to install RKWard in Windows. First, we have to go to the home page of RKWard. You will find it here at rk.survey.design. Okay, we are going to click Windows and download it from this link. Here I have it already downloaded, so I'm going to install this one. We click yes. We select the address, click next. We're going to associate it to all these file extensions. Next. Now we hit install. We wait it to be installed. Now that it has finished, we click finish, and we will go to launch it. So I have it through all applications. I have to search for it. So I'm going to fix it to my start, and I am going to fix it to my taskbar. So I'm going to launch it from here. So first time you launch it, you will have to run this, the installation wizard. We will click next. It will detect if you have another installation of R, which I do. So I will click next to configure it. Next, and if you have something to install, it will pop up the installation process. I will hit finish. So now I have to install the plugin which we are going to use. I'll go through preferences, install R packages. Now I'll go to install and update. I'll just click the principal mirror. We'll click accept. Now I'll hit show only packages which give dialogues to RKWard, and I will select forcats and survey.design and GT summary also. I will hit apply, wait for them to install. Okay, once they are installed, sometimes this happens. Just hit Alt Tab to bring the plugin detection dialog. Click accept. Now we can close it. Now we'll have this menu over here, and we will have another menu over here, GT summaries, and on data we will have this menu forcats. Okay, so we already have these three plugins which we are going to use. I will download a database from the Mexican Institute of Statistics called INEGI, and I am going to download the ENOE dataset, which is the employment survey to ENOE. I'll just hit the first one. I'm going to go with microdata and just download the SPSS file because it has metadata. I'll just wait it to download. Okay, once it has been downloaded, I'll open the file. I have to extract it from the zip file into a address which will contain my data frames. So I'll just hit extract all into my desktop. I'll hit new file, just name it ENOE, and I'll hit select this file, desktop ENOE, extract. Once this is done, I'll have it in my folder, and now I can import it into R. To import it, I will hit File, Import, Import Format, and SPSS Import. I'll hit this button to call the file dialog, and I'll select on the desktop the folder called ENOE and select my file with the data frame. For this case, I will use the sociodemographic data frame, so I'll hit open. Okay, once it is done, I will see a preview of my file. It seems correct. So now I'll just hit send. It's importing. And once it's finished, it will attempt to show you the file. It's warning me that it's too big, but there is no problem, and I think this OS can handle it, so I'll hit continue. So it will show it. So we have here 423,744 cases with a total of 114 columns. So this is a pretty big data frame. Now we're going to start working with it. I'll just close it for now, and I have it active here in my workspace area. Now we're going to create the survey object. So I'll hit survey, create survey design, and I'll select the data frame which I'm going to use. Now I'm going to select the cluster variable. For this particular survey, the cluster variable is UPM. So as it's too big, I'll just look for it with Ctrl F or show the filter options and write UPM here in the finding box and select it. Okay, now we have the cluster variable. Now I'm going to select the strata variable. Here it is, and the factor variable. I'm going to use this one, is the weight for the second quarter of the year, and we will need to select the next cluster option to true. For now, I'm going to leave the default name, survey design, and we'll hit send. Once the survey design is created, we will have a list with a few objects, and we will be working with the variables object to select the variables we are going to analyze. So for the next step, we're going to use an example of a survey by. Here it is. So I'll hit grouped survey analysis. Okay, I'm going to select the survey object, which is this one. You can see here the kind of class it has, so we can use it through this dialog box. Now I'm going to use the sex variable. I'll hit S to go down to the list and select the sex variable through the grouping variable. And as analysis variable, I'm going to use if people know how to read, which is CSP12. And as it is a factor variable, I will like to have the total count, and will adjust for only PSU single cluster strata. Okay, once these are set, we can send. Now it seems like there is not available data to calculate properly this survey by table, so we have to filter it. How are we going to filter it? First, I'll use the survey subset option. I will select the survey option which I want to filter or subset, and as an expression, as it is a cluster variable, the one which I want to use, I will use the variable name CSP12. I will use the operator in, which is rated %in %symbol, and I will use the C function to select only the variables which I want to keep. For this case is if the person knows how to read or they don't. So I'll select Si sabe leer. Yes, I do how to read. This must be between quotation marks and quotation marks, and no, I don't how to read. I'll select those two. So what we're going to do is to select only the rows which have these two answers. So I'm just going to leave the default name SPI subset. I will hit send. Now we have our second SPI object, which you can see through here. It's still a very big object, but it has data. So I'll just close it. I'm going to execute the same command for the survey by results. I'll just hit run again, but I will select the SPI by subset. the one we just filtered. And I'm going to overwrite the object which had NA results. So I'll just run it again. We have numbers now. Women with 60 million, a little bit more. And it also is calculating the standard error for these two answers. Now we have levels, value labels, which are not used. So we will tell the program to drop those labels. How are we going to do that? We are going to use through data, factor tools, forcats, drop unused levels. We will select inside the object we have subsetted, inside the variables data frame, we will select CSP12, and for this one I will call it CSP12A as a way to distinguish it from the original one. We'll change the default name, and I will also change the default father object. I will hit change. I will select the subsetted object, and I will select the variables object, so it will be stored inside this one. We'll hit OK, and I'll have to change the name, so CSP12A. Now I have changed the name, and I can hit send. Once it is done, I will see the new variable here, CSP12A. This one is the one that we're going to use now. So I'll hit run again through the survey by results, and now I can change CSP12 for CSP12A. Now I will overwrite the previous object so we can have a new object but with clean variables and only the standard error which we need. Now that we have these two variables, we can now calculate a chi-square test through survey. For example, chi-square test, we can select the subsetted object. Variable 1 could be sex, here it is, and CSP12A, the one that has been cleaned. For now we don't need a subset option, and just we'll hit adjust for lonely PSU single cluster strata. Now I can hit send. Well, as we can see, it has calculated the crosstabs for expected values, observed values, residuals, and standard residuals. Here we have the summary of the statistic F, and our p-value is very small, is 1.27 minus 0.5, so it's a very small value. So we can conclude that there is an association between these two variables. Well, Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you the next one. Bye bye.